Hello, welcome to Painting with Paul. Today we are going to do a tutorial on learning how to paint like me. Please follow along if you would like. It doesn't matter what colors you have or what paints you have. You will learn about the intricacies of using a split cup, and you will learn about why you flood a painting before you pour and what happens when you don't when using a split cup, and also when using a regular cup and doing a ring or a jiggly pour or a straight pour. They all have the same principles behind them. So, without further ado, because I don't have an intro, I'm going to show you what we like. So, thank you, and follow along with us if you'd like. And if you have any questions or any way that I can make the video better, concerns, please leave them in the comments below, because this is my first tutorial. Let's get started. Hey, so good rule of thumb when you first start painting is to paint the edges. And you can paint the edges whatever color you want. I like to do this so when I'm pouring and I get the paint is coming off the side, it doesn't stretch and then just leave plain white canvas. Sometimes it can do that and it doesn't look super professional, but it doesn't look like bad either. So you just gotta kind of work with it, and you know, you'll get it hammered out like pretty much no problem. And you'll find your own style and what works for you and what doesn't. But I found that actually doing this part and basically just painting the edges, and you don't have to go all the way in every time unless you want a certain look. Some paints are a little bit translucent, and you will see the canvas through them. It's just the nature of some of the paints. The paints that we're using today are not, but they will pull off of the side here, and if you're not careful, it will leave you with just like white on the canvas. So today I'm just using some black paint and going to don't even have to really let it dry, and I'm putting it on really thick. I wanted it to be really thick because I wanted it to be kind of dominant on the canvas here. So sorry you can't see it all, but that's just all I'm doing. Nothing crazy, you know. I mean, you can, like I said, paint it in the middle if you want to, if you have enough. Don't be shy. But really, you don't have to do the whole canvas like this. I mean, if you're going to do the whole canvas like this and you want the whole canvas to be black, you might as well just buy a black canvas. It's cheaper than wasting the paint to do all of this. Hopefully that makes sense. And you know, the black canvases that they have are like really nice. That you can find them at certain craft stores. I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon. If I can find them on Amazon, I will leave a link in the description for you. Unless you can find them generally cheaper somewhere else. If you can't find it at a lower cost somewhere else, then I won't leave a link, and I'll just let you guys know in the description where you can find them cheaper. So it's pretty cool. So just because I wasn't planning on covering all of the canvas, but because I did one, I wanted to do the other one just to kind of show everybody the difference in the techniques that I'm gonna do. Uh, I'm gonna do the same technique for one as I am the other, and I'm gonna use the same colors. So don't freak out. It doesn't matter what paints you use, what mediums you use. Now, certain mediums and certain paints will give you different different outcome. But what I wanted to show you today is the difference between flooding the canvas and not flooding the canvas. So stay tuned. I'm going to put the same colors paints, use the same color paints in the same size cups. They're going to be different colors, but that doesn't make a difference either. And you'll be able to find these cups on my website. These are 3 ounces. Right now I have 8 ounces for sale. I print them off myself, and I'll leave a link to the cups in the description also, so that it's very easy for you guys to find them if you want these. And I'll show you how, and I'll explain to you why I do certain things and why I put the paint in layers in certain ways. All right, so today I have silver, violet, red, and white. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use any white in the actual cup itself. I'm only going to use the red, violet, and silver, and I'm going to use the white to flood the canvas so that you can see the difference in a flooded canvas versus a non-flooded canvas, and how the paint moves and flows around whenever you have a flood on there previously. So, because I've gotten a lot of questions like, why do you put that color on and then just tilt it off? Well, this should answer your question. So, when you flood a canvas for this particular style, you want to go kind of big, and you're going to use a decent amount of paint in order to do this. So what I'm doing now is I'm just tilting it around a little bit, getting it towards the corners. If you've ever done this before, if you've ever done pour painting and tilting before, you know that the corners can be kind of hard to get to. So you don't want to go too far off the edges whenever you're doing your flood, and because it does pull paint down also. So now I'm going to start using my paints, and I'm going to show you guys just kind of how I do it. So I'm going to put the red on one side, and this is these right here, or this right here is my 3-compartment cup. I sell them in sets, 2 compartments, 3 compartments, and 4 compartments. So I'm going to put the purple on this side here. There you go. And then you always want to make sure you get the crummies off. If you have any dried paint around your seals, peel it off, because it will get in your painting, or at least one of your paintings eventually, when you least expect it, and it'll be just sad times. So, and then now I'm just going to do kind of like a ring pour, and I'm going to start off slow, let it drip, and then, small circles. You don't want to go too wide or too big. You can travel with your pour if you want to, and by travel I mean move it around the canvas as you're doing it. But my style in particular, like, I either like to spin the canvas while I'm doing this, or I stay in one place, because I feel like it gives a nicer ring pattern while you're doing it. Like, I like it more. And if you don't know why I'm doing this, it's because I like it more. And I'm teaching you know, doing these tutorials for you guys so that you can see how I do it. All right, now when you're finishing off a ring pour, it's highly suggested by me that you start going in smaller circles, right? And you keep it there. And then when you're ready to pull, you gotta like get your hand underneath there. You can see there's a little bit of a travel there. No big deal. If you didn't put my hand underneath there, it would have been a lot crazier. So now I'm gonna do this. Now I'm just gonna tilt it like how I want to. And you see how the paint is traveling? It's not rolling. It's actually just sliding across that white right there. And that's what I want you guys to like focus on, is like how it slides across. And the it keeps its pattern. It just kind of stretches a bit. So this is because of the flood. It's not because of the way I poured it. It is literally because of the flooding of the canvas and how it does how that paint, that white paint, helps it move along the face of the canvas. Now you can see that the corners are a bit, harder to get. They always are. And then what you do is you just tap your finger on there and you can kind of move it a little bit more. I used a lot of paint on this canvas on purpose, so that, for the purpose of showing you guys like how it reacts to it and how it slides. I really wanted to emphasize that. Generally, I would use a bit less paint to not have so much spill. But like I said, I wanted to really like emphasize for you guys like how it works. And you'll see the difference here when I do this next pour. So I'm kind of happy with that. You see how it's still gonna pull off, but I have a black canvas and not a white canvas now because I use that paint. And like I said, like, you don't have to wait for it to dry, but excuse me, if you do leave a thick amount of paint when you pour on there, if you do leave a thick amount of paint on there, and you could see how it's a little bit thicker in this spot than others, then you will eventually come across the situation to where you'll see impressions left in your painting, which isn't always a bad thing, because I've done it before with my black heart painting, and you can see the heart through it, and it's pretty cool if you ask me. But that's if you're asking me. If you're not asking me, then you might find some people don't like it. It's all about what you like. I always preach to people is like, if you don't like it, then don't do it. There's no reason to mess around and create something that you just absolutely don't love. Now, are you going to fall in love with everything that you've done? Probably not, but are you going to be happy that you're able to create something? I sure hope so, because it makes all the difference in the world. This is why I do it. I love it. It makes me very, very happy, and I love the fact that I get to help all of you out and answer your questions and stuff with this. So, if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything like that, please leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. So we're going to do this other pour, so I'm not putting any white paint down at all. It's going to be just the straight pigmented colors, the purple, silver, and red. And I'm going to kind of show you guys, like, I'm going to bring it up close for sure to show you guys how the difference in the movements. So, I'm going to still do my ring pour, and I'm still going to pour it all on there, even though it is going to be a lot of paint. But when you don't flood the canvas, you kind of need more paint to it. You have to like you have to have it, or you'll just end up with like one color generally. So my wife just got home, so the dogs are about to go cray cray. So you want to finish it off the same way? Oh, it's not mommy. Boom, like that. And then I want you guys to pay attention when I tilt, how the paint rolls over itself, and that's what happens when you don't flood. It literally just like the paint in the middle is rolling over the paint on the outside, and that's how like you can lose your pattern when you do this, you know. So I apologize, it's harder to record this process the way I'm doing it right now. I'm not used to it. So, and then it gets really thin, and it'll still flow, but if you want it off of the edges, you gotta like tap and then move it. Like it's a lot harder to control and keep your pattern going on when you don't flood the canvas afterwards, and the paint stretches more. You want to tap 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 like that. Tapping like this will help it move where you and get the paint where you want it. But you'll see a clear difference in the designs. I mean, I've done the exact same pattern. I've pretty much poured it the exact same way, and you'll see the difference after I'm done, and like how tight one pattern is to the other, and how you can kind of see a little bit better, and you can see that this isn't flowing nearly as well as the last one. And you know, it's taken me a lot longer to tilt this all the way to the edges and stuff, you know. And you can see on the corners here how it's not really wanting to like hold on, and that's partly due to, you know, it not having a flood. But it's not that it's ugly, you know, it's just different. So I'm gonna tilt it back this way a little bit. I kind of want to I want to try to get that silver to come out and everything, and I like the patterns right here, the tighter patterns right there. So I'm gonna try to like get it more towards this end of the painting where I'm pointing with my thumb. I'm gonna try. So, and then now I kind of got it centered right there. So you can kind of see the difference, like it's pulling off the edges there. You know, I bring this one over so you guys can see, like, and then hopefully you can tell, you know, the difference in the flooding. So, you know, you got a little bit of white around here, but it's added the color. Like you could see the black like coming through the bottom here. And if I hadn't have painted that on, if I hadn't have painted that black on, it would look like, it would look white. Like if I hadn't have painted it on the edges there, it would just look white. So I'm kind of dripping over there, but no big deal. Hopefully that was helpful, and that you guys kind of get the drift on how it was made, and why I do certain things. If you don't flood before you pour it, and you flood afterwards, it will pull, and it will do the same thing as if there's too much paint on the canvas. It'll start pulling off the sides and everything, but it doesn't help the whole image flow, and you won't always keep like real tight like it is over here, how it's more, you know, rounded, and then this one's stretched out. And you know, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you want to see something in particular, if you have any questions about a particular pour or how to get a certain effect, um, let me know and I'll help you out to the best of my ability. So, as always, I love you guys and thanks for being here and painting with me. And I'll see you again soon.